Hello, everyone, and welcome to a hopefully relatively chill Mother's Day stream. If you're a mother watching us, you're awesome. Hi, we like you. Mothers are great. Happy Mother's Day. Back to Dungeons and Dragons. Um, last session, everyone leveled up at the end of the session. So let's do a quick check-in and see what things people got at level 3. We'll just do a full circuit of everyone doing things. So, Celexa, what level 3 did you take?
So, Celexa took her second level in Warlock, and she got a couple of fun abilities. She took because she got to choose 2 invocations, and so she chose. Let's see, one called Repelling Blast, which basically means that her Eldritch Blast. Each Eldritch Blast that she hits with can push somebody back up to 10 feet, which is pretty cool. And then she chose Mask of Many Faces, which means that she can cast Disguise Self at will. So that's pretty cool also. Because of the way that, because she's multi-class, unlike Caliban, she doesn't get level 2 spells.
Not yet.
Yeah,
but you did get another level 1 spell, yeah?
Yeah, so actually I counted, and between the 2 classes and other like racials and abilities, right now Celexa is at 5 cantrips and 10 leveled spells. So
but for like 3 spell slots. Okay, whatever.
So she has options anyways, which is kind of how I like to play anyways. That's an important thing for me. So yeah. So
what level spell did you take though? What did you add to her arsenal?
She took Charm Person. And then let's see, I dropped something. Oh, I dropped Hellish Rebuke because I actually gained it as a like a racial. And I took Expeditious Retreat and replaced that. So
skedaddle.
Yeah, I feel like I want her to have some defensive options as well, because she's definitely not as sturdy as most of the other characters in the party. So just trying to look after my girl.
It is also very flavorfully appropriate for her to have an Expeditious Retreat.
Yeah, indeed.
Excellent. Cool. Next up, let's chat with Caliban. Caliban, level 3, yeah?
Yeah. I got some spells.
Cool. Second level spells. And you're a cleric, so you don't even have to make decisions.
Yeah.
But what did you decide to prepare?
A bunch of stuff. I decided to prepare a lot of second level spells and got rid of a couple first level spells. I mean, luckily, because of my order cleric subclass, I automatically have prepared Zone of Truth and something else. Please hold.
Hold person?
Yes, hold person.
One of the best spells.
And a lot of the spells that order clerics automatically have prepared are some of the best spells in the game.
Yeah,
which is just great.
Which is awesome.
And so I got those, but I also prepared Lesser Restoration, Prayer of Healing, and Spiritual Weapon.
Nice. Good stuff.
And then I just, since we're in a town, I got rid of Purify Food and Water.
Yeah.
And Cure Wounds. I have Healing Word, and I have Cure Wounds in my ring. So
nice. Okay. Thea, level 3.
Yeah. Thea's gotten something called Soul Knife. So kind of more psionic abilities. Like one thing I can do is talk telepathically with anybody of my choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they speak a different language, I can still talk to them. I can like.
I feel like Thea and Thylar are just gonna be like
it's gonna be
so obnoxious about, talking shit about everybody.
Yep.
Chit chatting with each other, only each other.
Yep, I love it.
I can basically like throw psychic blades as well.
Well, that's not at
Yeah.
all totally awesome. I mean,
Yeah, like so normal. Yeah.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. Excellent. And then I guess we'll go on. Timothy, have you actually made a decision? You were waffling for a while last I checked, and that was 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping you were gonna have me go absolutely last, so
Sure.
I would have a couple more to choose. But I think I'm going with the Hunter
Okay.
subclass or Conclave. Gloomstalker looked like a lot of fun, but didn't really fit the flavor of Timothy, I think.
Makes perfect sense. That is a great reason to decide on something. Always. So what do you get as a hunter at level 3?
I can choose kind of a perk, and I chose Colossus Slayer, which means I'll deal an extra 1d8 damage if our target is below its max hit points.
Great.
Yeah, and I also get another spell, which was another choice that I had to make.
And you made it?
I am 99% sure. While it may not be the most useful, I think narratively, I think it makes sense for me to take Animal Friendship.
It's one of my favorites.
Because
also, it's one of those spells that's as useful as you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You can always make it useful. Excellent. Beautiful. And last but not least, Nova, level 3.
So I took the Cavalier subclass for fighter, and with level 3, I got a skill, which I put into insight. I put it into insight. And then I also got Unwavering Mark, which lets me essentially protect players by making, if I've attacked a creature, then that creature has to roll disadvantage to attack someone else while they're within 5 feet of me. And then if they do manage to damage someone else within that 5 feet, I get to make an extra attack to them and add a bonus.
Yes.
Then,
Cavalier is definitely one of the more powerful fighter subclasses. Good choice. Keep going.
and then we also subbed the mount part for Domineering Stance, which allows me to, if I don't move within a turn, allows me to attack opponents within 5 feet of me using reach.
Yeah, we're adapting certain parts of the Cavalier subclass, not that it needs it, for people who are, for someone who is not interested in the mounted components whatsoever, which is totally a good and awesome thing to do. I recommend you do it in your home games if you feel like messing around with things. It's fun to mess around with things. Okay, cool. The other sort of just sort of mechanical business thing that we had is y'all got retainers. And retainers, these are homebrew rules made by Matt Colville. And we're just going to use them pretty much straight as is. It's a little early for you guys to get retainers, but I don't really mind that much. Sometimes there's little power spikes, and that seems totally cool. They're vaguely useful in combat. They're certainly useful in combat now, but that usefulness will decrease as time goes on. But the real trick that I want you to think about them is to treat them as narratively useful, right? If you have a retainer who is a spy, great. Send them out to spy on things. Have them do research for you. Use them as information gathering tools. If you have a retainer who is a bodyguard, great. Find someone who's in danger and have your retainer protect them, right? If this is their skill set, right? If this is what we, again, within the fiction have agreed is their skill set, then they are relatively good at it. That doesn't mean that they're as good as a PC is, but it does mean that, like, there's boring things that would not be fun for you to play on screen. Say, for example, so if someone's at risk for assassination, it's not super interesting to follow them around and be their bodyguard 8 hours a day for gameplay, right? And then they had a meeting, 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 and then they had dinner, right? That's just not interesting. But if someone's at risk for assassination, you can send your retainer to go protect them and just stand by them and do all the boring stuff, and they won't complain because they're your retainer, more or less. And then, like, when an assassin comes, it's not the same. It's not as good as having you there, but it's pretty darn good nonetheless. We've established that this person is a bodyguard. Does that make sense? So we very much want to focus on the fictional positioning. That's what we're going to call it, the fictional positioning of what these people can do. And from that perspective, we can intuit how the stories will evolve. Now, they're good. They're not perfect, right? So there's some off-screen roles for things, right? You set someone up as a bodyguard, they're going to be good at being a bodyguard. But if someone else has set someone else up as being an assassin, they're good at being an assassin. So tit for tat a little bit. We figure it out as we go, and we resolve things as it seems narratively appropriate. Okay, does that make broad sense in general? Cool. Retainers are hard to kill. That's by design. I know that it's going to feel a little ridiculous. They're going to feel a little bit, at this level, certainly harder to kill than you. That's actually true. It is harder. They are harder to kill than you at this point. Don't look at that in too much detail, is what I would say. Don't worry about that too much. It's just a way to keep NPCs alive, so they're not just cannon fodder, but friends. Okay. Don't worry too much about it if you haven't decided which subclass they are, or if we haven't discussed it yet. It probably won't come up for a couple levels anyway, or maybe even a couple sessions. Sorry, for a couple sessions anyway. But we'll find out from here. Okay, let's start playing some D&D. Okay, so you guys have just made it to the wonderful town of Kessin. Kessin has woods sort of all around it, and also some hills and some mountains where they do some mining and things like that. As you make it into town, you find out that there was recently some sort of weird occurrences in the town, but that it seems mostly cleaned up right now. There was a test that was going on, where guards, like, traditional challenge that they do when they are going to be made guard captain, where the guard captain takes a team of people to this tomb, and they run through like this little obstacle course in the top layers of this tomb. It's normally set up in such a way that it's pretty easy and non-lethal. They put pillows in the pit traps so that you're not going to die. They blunt the arrow tips so that, like, whatever, it's more like a test of your ingenuity and teamwork skills more than anything else. But the team that went to set up this whole thing, suddenly we're supposed to report in, and none of them did. And someone went and investigated and discovered that several creatures had been somehow awoken in the tomb. And so this tomb that was supposed to be like this silly little obstacle course for the guards became a haven for undead creatures from beyond the grave that had been raised. So the town sort of freaked out about this, and the mayor of the town called for help. And she called for help not from any of her local political organizations, but from the Grand Accord. And the Grand Accord sent some new recruits to the Order of Starlight to come and deal with this problem. The new recruits came to town. They dealt with the problem and then realized that there was sort of something larger going on here. And then, in fact, someone was actually causing these problems. They found that person, captured that person, but the person had already set free a monster in the mines. They had resurrected a creature of unknown origin, but with necromantic magics, and brought that to the mines and unleashed it upon the villagers, mostly as a form of, it looked like, disrupting what the town's basic economy was, which comes from the mines. But the Order of Starlight managed to deal with it very well. No losses on their part. And they are looking to get a drink at the local tavern, which is when a bunch of strangers appear in the middle of town, walking from outside the town into the town, clearly traveling through the woods for quite some time, and that would be you guys. So because of these many circumstances in the past couple of days, the folk of the town are a little bit wary of everyone here. They're just a little bit skeptical and dubious of travelers right now and outsiders, and so there's a little bit of just not hostility but discomfort, let's say, around the presence of you all. But on the other hand, there's an airship there, and that would be very convenient if you could negotiate your way onto it to some extent. Welcome to the town of Kessin. You do have in your journal a little cast of Kessin handout, I believe. Yep. And if anyone wants to restock or shop at any of the major locations, there's also plenty of other locations that aren't on there. Of course, don't look at this as the be-all, end-all. If you want to go get a massage at the massage parlor, we can have a massage parlor, no problem, and all that good stuff. It's a relatively prosperous town, not huge, but definitely significant. So, yeah, does anyone have anything that they want to do?
I know that one of the things that we need to figure out is how we're going to get our friend Masozi onto the ship. So I think that should be and Neffany also. I think
And ourselves. And ourselves.
And ourselves. So yeah.
Yeah.
Like specifically getting them into the kava because they're not allowed.
Well, so Neffany is pretty experienced already at kind of blending in, and it seems like especially since like she's already kind of part of the crew. I feel like at least until we get to the kava, she probably could, like, with our support, could kind of like be in the background. What's his butt? Definitely, it's a little bit more of a challenge. But Celexa just kind of says, "Well, I did have an idea about that."
What's your idea? Where are we right now, by the way?
We're in the inn. So okay. Celexa might say, "Well, I don't know if we should talk about it here."
Do we have rooms yet?
No.
Okay. What time is it?
Yeah, you got in at midday. It's a little after 2.
Okay. I gesture to the, or I'll say, I'm gonna go talk to the barkeep real quick. I'll refill my drink. And I'll walk over to the barkeep, who is
Trelvar.
Oh. They're not here, but that's okay. Oh, Trelvar, yes. Trelvar.
Yeah.
Hi.
Greetings, traveler.
Hi there. You speak very well. For someone in such a remote place. Are you from around here?
Well, my wife and I have lived here for 30 years.
Wow, that's quite some time. Incredible. Ooh, wow, I'm awkward today.
Before that, we lived under the mountain.
It's been a while since I've been in a town, and wow. But
well, then you've been speaking well too.
Oh, thank you. We'd like to procure some rooms. How much for a couple rooms?
How many rooms would you like?
Hold on a second, and I'll turn around and come back to the group and go, how many rooms do we want? There's 10 of us.
How many people does one room hold?
Hold on. I'll turn around and walk back to Trelvar and say, how many rooms does one hold?
I hold no rooms.
How many people fit in one room?
Ah, I see. Well, there's 2 beds in a room, but we have a couple of extra cots that we can put in if you want to put 3 or even potentially 4 in a room. But we'll run out of cots at some point.
Okay. How much per room? Does it
2
depend on how many
silvers.
people? 2 silvers.
2
Okay.
silvers per room.
Okay. Then in that case, I give him a gold piece and say, "Can we get 5 rooms, please?"
5 rooms, 1 night, no problem.
Thank you. And also, can I get a refill? I know I'm already kind of
course.
stuttering and bumbling, but
No, of course, no problem. Where hail you from, traveler?
Oh, I'm from Chalestra. But yeah, I'm from Chalestra. They're all from other places.
Are you here with Moklak? And he
Who?
points at a red lizardborn who's telling loud stories in the center of the room.
With him? No,
Yeah, he's from Jalestra.
no. Never met him in my life.
Oh, so you're not part of his expedition?
No.
I thought you might be late stragglers to his expedition.
Oh, no. We're just passing through.
Ah, excellent. Passing through. Be gone tomorrow. Okay.
Maybe. We'll see. Probably. Who is this red dragonborn person?
Oh, he comes through once a year for a week. He and his crew rest up here. He's
Or
like
lizard folk, not dragonborn, right?
Yeah, lizard folk.
Okay. Sorry.
They rest up here for a week, and he drinks a lot of booze and pays good coin and tips well, and so do his companions, and then he takes them on an expedition.
Wow. Sounds like an exciting life.
Yeah. Well, his life sounds very exciting if you believe what he says, you know.
That's true. But I mean, if everyone else with him backs up his stories, then who's to say he's not telling the truth?
Well, yes, that is an excellent point.
Well, thank you so much.
Celexa, at this point, Celexa's wandering up behind Alaban because she wants to refill her mug as well. And she she and Trelvar kind of hit it off earlier because she had visited long ago. She had visited her Trelvar's brothers.
Yeah, tavern.
Right?
Yeah.
So she says, Trelvar, I have a question for you. Do you know what's up with that thing in the middle of town? It's like kind of like a boat kind of thing. It's not really that fancy, but it's kind of cool.
The airship, yes.
Yeah. What do you what's up with that? Why is that here?
Oh, well, that is quite the tale, let me tell you. And he points to like the corner, and there's like a group of people sitting in the corner quietly drinking. They're actually being kind of quiet in their drinking right now. He says, those people over there, let me tell you, sometimes there are tales of a strong man who punches out the bully or whatever, the person who stands up to foes. But every once in a while, very rarely, every once in a while, you will come across a true group of heroes. Just legendary people who can achieve great feats of arms. And those there are great heroes. Why they came to this town, they're called the Order of Starlight. And they come from the Grand Accord. And they came to this town and they saved us from a scourge of undead and a vile trickster who stayed here in this very tavern. Why they discovered that this person known as the Crimson Griffin, I think they said his what do you call it, pseudonym, nom de plume, whatever, his villain name.
Yes.
The Crimson Griffin was spreading poison of some sort and brought people back from dead and hounded the town. But they took him on. They saved people from the mines. They saved people from the tombs, and they captured this man and who could not escape.
Huh. Well, that is quite the tale. Absolutely. Yeah, they must be amazing, I'm sure. I'm wondering,
so amazing.
Trevor, do you? I don't suppose that you and your brother have the same recipe for those. What were those? I'm trying to remember. I think they were like some deep fried dire squirrel drumsticks or something like that. That his tavern was famous for. I don't suppose you guys make those here too.
Sadly, not. The you're thinking of the Vermling drumsticks, of
Yeah,
course. But,
exactly. Yes. Yeah.
yes, but no, we don't have anything of the sort here. They're not local fauna. And truth be told, my brother, well, not so much my brother, but my brother's wife and I had a falling out, and she refused to give me the recipe as I left.
Well, it's a shame.
Of course.
It's a shame, but surely you have something here, a local specialty that's just as.
Yes,
just as
indeed.
delightful.
Have you tried our aged cheddar biscuits?
No, but if you don't mind, why don't you grab a couple of baskets, maybe one for us, and then send one over to the corner if you don't mind as well.
I have no objections. And he calls out, and he says, Asina, 2 baskets. And you hear a voice call back from the back, coming up.
So Alexa will head back to join the table.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. So shortly thereafter, a dwarf comes over and delivers a basket. They're called cheddar biscuits, and that's basically what they are. But next to it is a spread of various sorts of things that you might put on a biscuit, or possibly even a sandwich. There's like some slabs of meat. There's some mixed veggies. There's some like condiments of various sorts. There's butters. There's spreads. There's all sorts of things next to them, so you can sort of do what you want with this. It's sort of like by itself, it's like a scone. It's like a soft scone or whatever, and it's quite good. Or you can turn it into a savory meal, or you can turn it into a dessert meal, depending on how you dress it.
I am just gonna say I am glad that my dinner is showing up soon because I am already hungry just hearing about that. That sounds amazing.
Excellent. Yeah, it's not at all based on breakfast this morning that I made for my mother. Okay. Yeah, and basket goes over to the other table, and one of the members at the other table like sort of stands up when they get the basket, and like asks the dwarf a question. The dwarf points over to your table, and looks at you. This person looks at you, and then,
I wave.
hey, Caliban,
Hey,
how
good
are
to
you
see you.
doing? And like this woman walks over. She's elven, and she bears all the hallmarks of someone being from Sunera. She looks very Sunera, but she's got a great sword on her back that's like, I mean, I think we would think of it as like a cloud style great sword. It's certainly larger than she is. And she very like casually, just like while walking over, just pulls it out and like swings it around and then sticks it back in like whatever bracing is holding it. And she comes over, and like she sits on a stool, or she sits on a chair backwards next to you. Wow, Caliban, you're here. You missed a great fight.
I I heard a little bit about it. You fought a griffin person. Is that right? Is that their
Oh,
nom de plume?
yeah, I mean, he was just a halfling, and that
Oh,
was not so great. We tried to capture him. Hopefully he's in prison. He's not dead yet, but he's locked up in our airship. You know, we have an airship now. Isn't that cool?
I saw. That's yours. Yours to
Well,
fly.
yeah. It's, well, basically, I mean, whatever. It's the Order of Starlights, but we're full members now. And she like
Oh,
straightens up, and as you see, there's like a symbol on her chest of like an 8-pointed star.
oh. I turned to the rest of our party. Um, where are you off to next? Then.
Well, we're supposed to report back in at Terra Vest, you know. But
Hmm.
oh, sorry, I didn't introduce myself. Hi everyone, I'm Urza, and she like pulls out a dagger and just like starts chipping away in the table, like just carving into the table a little bit as she's sitting there, just like.
And she's not somebody that we met back in the floating city. Is that correct?
Some of you have, or at least Caliban has. But yeah, let's see. There are a couple other people there as well. Timothy, you would recognize Rain. Rain is there, your future letter writer. So we'll do that scene in a second. But for now, we'll stick with Urza. and so she is just like carving at the table, and like it takes 2 seconds before you realize that she's like carving her name into the table, like Urza was here, um, you know, just into the table.
You misspell.
Oh, so Celexa introduces herself to Urza, and seeing that she's an elf, she says, "Oh, and you might have heard of me."
Nope, can't say that I have. Should I have? Are you famous?
Oh, no, not really. Probably not. Never mind.
Have you fought many battles?
Well, somewhat reluctantly.
Reluctantly, but battle's the best. Have you slain many foes?
She has quite a few.
Are you new to this whole thing?
This isn't exactly what I would describe as my line of work, but sometimes you just apparently have to go and get stranded in the middle of nowhere and fight off a bunch of spiders, and I guess that's just life. That's what I'm coming to learn.
Okay. You look big, she says to Nova.
Not really, but thanks.
I like your sword.
Thanks. I pull it out and compare.
Yeah. She pulls hers out and says, "Yeah, I'm not really using this one, actually. It's just for show."
Oh, what do you use?
Oh, let me show you. And she like runs back over to her table and then comes back, and she's holding two long swords. One of them is like curved, and the other one is like has like a weird, like almost like a fork, like prong at the end. And she holds up one and she like whispers to it something, blah, blah, blah. And suddenly it starts glowing white, like radiating moonlight. I found this in a tomb.
That is awesome.
I know, it's awesome. So cool.
I tell the rest of the party, we got to go into more tombs.
I'm good,
Oh.
but maybe I'll follow you if you go.
All right.
So,
go ahead. Sorry.
So, Celexa is gonna say, so, her name Irma?
Urza.
She's gonna say, well, so Urza, do you remember how there was that thing with the Order of Starlight who was kind of like trying to help us get to on this mission? Did they tell you anything about that? That we were being sent somewhere? No, you guys didn't hear about that, huh?
I told you a little bit about it when
Did
we
you?
were fighting. I did.
When
but
we were fighting.
Don't worry about it.
You told me things while we were fighting. You know that's not what you're supposed to do when you're fighting, right? You should focus on like the weapons.
Yeah, that's probably why I lost.
Right, that's true. You did lose.
Yeah. Well, I probably lost because you're just so much better at this than me. But
we'll get there. Keep practicing.
Speaking of which, Urza, you must be the leader of this of your group. I mean, considering the size of your sword, you must be the leader.
Oh yeah, I mean, we haven't like declared it officially or anything like that, but I think Captain Monir is going to pick me first. Yeah, absolutely.
The captain.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the captain?
Captain Monira. She's like I don't know. It's kind of demeaning, but she's like our what's the word for it? Babysitter until we were official full members of the Order of Starlight.
Is she
She's
here
just
now?
there to like. Yeah, she's on the airship. She doesn't like sleeping away from the airship. She stays there to guard the airship and also the prisoner now, I guess.
Prison from your last adventure, surely.
Sure, yeah. He has a villainous name and all.
What?
He's the Crimson Griffin.
Oh wow, that's a very intimidating name.
I mean, it didn't strike me as that intimidating, honestly. I mean, I don't know. He was a little bit of a pushover. He had some necromantic magics or whatever, but I just like levitated him off the ground and then like hung him out there to dry for a little while, and it was pretty funny.
So Urza, seeing as you are obviously kind of a big deal, in this town, I feel like you'd be a great person to ask for an introduction to the captain. You see, the Order of Starlight was trying to help us get to the Kva, and that didn't quite go as planned, and we might need a little help. And I was wondering if maybe you could help approach the captain on our behalf and introduce us, and so we can see if maybe she'd be willing to help us.
Yeah, roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Sure, I'm happy to help. No problem. Introduce you to Captain Monira. See what she says.
All right. Well, is she? It's the afternoon, right? So, when do you know when? Are you guys free like now to go?
Yeah, sure. We're planning on leaving in the morning. So you know we can well, we should go work this out soon. Hey, Rain. And you see a tall, skinny elven woman with leaves in her hair sort of stand up and turn towards you all. Rain, you want to come with me? We can go talk to Captain Monira about these folks. And Rain just sort of nods.
So, maybe do you guys want to go like put our stuff in our rooms first and just like get settled, and then maybe we can meet you there in just a few minutes? Is that all right? Meet you at the airship.
We're going now?
Well, I thought maybe we would want to put our stuff in our rooms at least and like get settled.
No, I mean, we're gonna go talk to the captain now.
Well, I didn't know if maybe we wanted to like go off on our own first and get settled in our rooms and then go meet the captain.
Yeah, so that takes like a minute, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, unless there was anything
Okay, great,
else
let's do that.
that we wanted to do during that time.
Yeah, roll a deception check. Hold on, let me pull up Rain's insight since I know Urza's is like -4. Okay. Oh. Rain just sort of nods. And Urza's like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep drinking until you want to leave.
So that sounds great, Urza. You guys are the best. Thank you, Urza. I knew I could count on you.
Yeah, sure.
One look
Anytime.
at your sword. I knew I could count on you.
Anytime. And like you look down at the table and you see that Urza like got bored carving her name into the table. So now it says Urza was her, and was of course has a Z. Okay, and she goes back to the corner and sits down. Yeah, you look at the group. They're a weird looking group. They definitely stand out a little bit. You know, Urza with her massive sword, and then 2 normal swords. Then there's a tiefling that just looks very stiff and formal. Rain has leaves in her hair. There's a yellow-skinned creature that you've never seen before, some sort of weird creature that has no nose, or at least has slits instead of a nose, and looks like very severe and angry all the time. They're a weird, and then like a perfectly normal, like looks like a halfling, acts like a halfling, chats like a halfling, friendly, kind of looks like way too normal to be with this group, hanging out there as well. Okay.
Caliban's going to, before he heads upstairs, carve an E to finish. It's bothering the crap out of him.
but not correct the spelling.
A true order cleric.
And he heads upstairs.
Yeah, I think Izzy doesn't like that at all. He's like, no, it's perfect because she's a girl.
I clamp Izzy's mouth shut with my hand and carry her upstairs behind me.
Okay. Beautiful. So you all head upstairs to your rooms. Let's see. One of the rooms you congregate in to have your covert discussion. Excellent. So so let's see who gets the scene started. I think it's actually probably it's probably Celexa, since you're the one who sort of has thoughts here.
Sure. So Celexa is going to say, Well, I just thought we should talk about like what are we gonna say to the captain? Um, I don't know. Do you guys think that the Order of Starlight, do they have any kind of like? I wonder if she would respond to having some kind of duty or obligation to us, since they didn't really they were supposed to help us before, and that really didn't go as planned. Um, or is there something that we can offer her? I don't know. I if we
I would
can,
like to ask them if they have a way of getting in touch with Roland that doesn't involve going there.
right.
Because if we can do that, then he'll just tell them to take us.
Or yeah, if not, then we maybe just have to convince her that it's what Roland would want, and it was
Which,
and
which is the truth. All we
Yeah.
need to do is tell her the truth.
yeah.
You have that letter from Roland?
No, I burned it because he told me to.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if she and so if she can, if we can get her to agree, I was thinking that we could what's the guy's name? The guy in the woods. Yeah. So
Zozie.
so
No,
yeah. So I feel like we might want to try. Like, we could potentially smuggle him in. So if we could get some kind of like a box or a chest, and she's gonna say, okay, so hear me out, and she is going to make a little gesture, and then suddenly she is about 6 inches. So Alexa grows about 6 inches taller, and she is sudden instead of wearing like traveling clothes and armor, she is wearing like like a pale yellow gown with like a canary yellow cloak, fine silk cloak with like gold thread running through it, and her, even like compared to her normal kind of ostentatious uh, uh, garb, she now looks like like positively regal, and like way over the top for this small town. And she says, so what I'm thinking is that um, uh, we have a large chest that contains the valuables that of course a person of my stature would be traveling with, and I of course would not um, I would not tolerate anybody trying to touch or investigate this my chest of personal treasure and belongings and all my fine clothes and everything. I think it would be absolutely just unreasonable for anybody to want to try and touch or search something like that. So if we can do that, then all we would need is the box.
Historically speaking, I'm a big fan of folk tales here, and every culture has a tale of people opening boxes that say "do not open." So, just throwing that out there.
Well,
this would also involve lying to the Order of Starlight, and I'm not comfortable with that.
I think we're not going to have to lie to the airship people. We're just going to need to make sure that we can get Masozi over the Kebab border or like hide him when we land.
So what you're suggesting then is not lying to the captain, telling her that Masozi is with us, and then once he's on board, smuggling him into the Kebab.
I think that I think we're not going to have trouble just convincing, like if we disguise him even a little bit, like just so he looks more human, or whatever. I think we can just say he's part of our party. We're already bringing 5 extra people.
We don't know much about how the Kava identify themselves. One thing that might be able to help, I gesture to the necklace around my neck, is this makes it so that someone looking for someone, it makes it very difficult to find someone through magical means. So if we give this to him as he goes in, and we're hiding him, once we land, it will be very difficult for them to detect him.
I think, yeah, that would be good. I think we're also going to have to worry about getting Neffany over the border, though, because they're both not allowed.
Yeah. So, Lexa, I like the idea. And
Well, that's
I
fine.
think it will make sense once we get there.
Alexa just kind of huffs and says, "Okay, well, fine, whatever," and she goes back to her normal appearance.
It was a very
And-
nice dress. Did you have that back home?
Well, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think there's
But that's
this
not.
very amusing moment that just crossed my mind. How many people? So obviously, in Selexa's mind, this person that she turned into is like a hyper exaggerated, over the top person who is very privileged and wealthy. Anyone here not able to tell the difference? Any of the party members not able to tell the difference? Just curious. Is that how any of them see Selexa currently?
Yeah,
think
but
so,
but the Caliban grew up around people exactly like Selexa. So he's used to it.
Okay.
So okay, well, I guess let's try it your way, and then if she, if the captain is you know, turns us down or has a problem with them, then we can just try something else.
Are we gonna bring our whole crew to talk to this captain?
I'd like to leave Arturo behind. Arturo, if that's all right with you.
I think
Sure.
we should bring our captain.
That-
So they can speak.
That makes sense.
Captain and captain if we need them to.
I think that makes sense. Leave everyone except for Captain Pliston,
Mm-hmm.
and just mention that we have other people coming with us.
Yeah. Then it might be easier also to bring Masozi on. He's just another person.
So, Captain Fliston looks at you guys and says, so what exactly do you want me to say? Just that we need passage? Because I can talk to her. I've met Captain Monira. I can speak with her. I don't know her really well, but we've met.
I think we would love for you to vouch for us that
Of course.
Roland was knew that it was super important for us to get to the Kva, and that was something that was a priority. So that that you know, to make sure that if since she doesn't know us, but she knows you, she'll hopefully believe you.
Absolutely, of course. Alexa, why don't you come with me then, and we can do this. Would anyone else like to come? Maybe I don't want to overload her. It can seem when you bring too many people to a meeting at once, it can feel like an intimidation or a tactic. So Alexa, why don't you come with me, and then maybe Timothy?
Okay.
I'd like to stay here if that's all right.
And then I think Meek taps your shoulder, Timothy, and says, "I'm coming too."
Meek, I appreciate your enthusiasm. I'd like you actually to stay here and practice those couple things I was showing you. Do you remember the tackle that I was showing you? Yeah.
Yes.
The knot. Good. All
yes.
Right. All right. Keep practicing those. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Cool. So that's where we're gonna head off quickly. Calvin, what's your passive perception?
16.
Okay. Izzy tries to stay in the room. If you don't care, then Izzy's gonna hang out in the room.
Where else would Izzy go?
Well, normally Izzy would be like with you to a certain extent, but
I want to stay behind.
Oh, you're staying in the. Well, I mean, I didn't know if you were going downstairs or something like that to chat with people.
I see. No, I'm going to stay in the room for a little bit.
Okay, then never mind.
At least for a little while.
Excellent. Okay. Well, then we'll see that scene play out shortly. Let's go check in. So Timothy and Selexa Captain Fliston, Captain Johanna Fliston, and are going to head downstairs, and you're going to meet with Rain and Urza, who are going to introduce you to Captain Monira. Great. Okay. 4 NPCs, no problem. Okay. So you guys are brought to the airship. The airship is substantially more used than your airship was. It's not this sort of modern glory of glorious marvel of technology that yours was. Yours was like, you looked at it, and even among airships, which are already impressive, this was the one that you guys had was the most impressive of airships. This is something that's been around for a long time. It's been around the bend. It's been a little beaten up here, a little beaten up there. Probably had like 20 or 30 different names painted on the side of it at various points. Yeah, and so you head over.
Alexa's trying not to like let her feelings about it show on her face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Marginally successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and so as you guys are heading over to this, Rain just sort of mutters quietly to herself, I detest air travel. It's the worst.
Yeah, I can sympathize with that.
Did you vomit?
Yes, and then I almost fell off.
You almost fell off. Oh my god! Don't even say such things to me. That is horrifying. I cannot.
Trust me, I wouldn't be getting back on one if it weren't the only way to get out of this place.
Yes, I was considering walking back to Terravest.
I think I've had enough walking for 1 week.
Timothy? Okay. So you enter onto the ship, and let's see, you are brought on board, and Urza and Rain, Urza says, hey, Cap! And a woman shows up. She's dwarven, and short, and wearing like heavy plate mail, and very clearly religiously inclined. You see religious iconography, and interestingly, what you see is religious iconography, not of Abrak, but of Chalestra on this dwarf. Yeah, and she looks and says, "You look familiar. I don't think I've met though. I think I've seen you from a distance. You're from Terravest, maybe?"
We were there shortly, yes.
Interesting, bumping into you here. And then Captain Fliston pops out and says, "Oh, hi, Monira. How are you doing? Oh, Johanna, it's good to see you. I thought you were in the Kava. Well, funny story about that. Actually, didn't really get there. These are the passengers I was supposed to take there. Oh."
Celexa just kind of like interrupts and says, "Hi, it's so nice to meet you," and just kind of like a little bit of a presumptuous, a little bit oily, just sort of like trying to insinuate herself into the conversation, and says, "Oh, I've heard so much about you and all of the adventures here.
No, you haven't.
Thank you so much for meeting with us."
No, you haven't.
Well, just today. That's all I was saying. Just today.
Then say what you mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it was nice to meet you, I guess. And she goes quiet, and Celexa like awkwardly reaches out and shakes her hand, but she looks very uncomfortable. This is not how she is used to being treated, and this is not the way that her polite society works.
Yeah, of course. So Monira just sort of shuts you down with like, "You're lying," and shakes your hand and just says her name, Monira.
So,
Timothy.
Your ship seems very well loved. It's comforting, you know. A ship that's been around for a long time means that that it works well. It must be a nice, safe ship.
Well, we don't know its full lineage. It was captured from, well, from Tawan back after the Tawan Empire fell, but the records were expunged, so we don't know the full history of it. But it's certainly at least maybe 2,500 years old.
Wow, that's impressive.
It may seem impressive, but it's worth pointing out that most people don't know how to make airships anymore. In fact, the only new one I've ever seen was from the Kava. What happened to the ship? And she sort of looks.
There were extenuating circumstances. We were, I will be honest with you. We were attacked.
You were attacked.
We were. We were.
What force attacked the Grand Accord?
Out of game, I don't remember what they were called. Astro Wolves? What?
Astrovargs.
Astrovargs, actually.
I've never heard of such a thing. Is that a nation? Is that a group of people?
It was a creature, actually.
So a random attack. No intent behind it.
Timothy glances over at Celexa, and
Well,
then I say,
if a bunch of flying wolves came out of the sky like a hailstorm and landed on your ship and proceeded to eat your crew and crash your airship, would you be likely to think of it as a random attack?
I wasn't there. I can do without the sarcasm, young lady.
Oh, that was not sarcasm, but okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think so.
Thank you for saying what you mean.
we do have reason to believe that we were targeted. Now, the good news is we actually got almost all of our people out, and we managed to land a ship, having never flown one before. So I think there are a lot of good things here. But
is the ship recoverable?
No. Well, I mean, anything is fixable. I think.
Captain Fliston like pipes up and says, the truth of the matter is that it's pretty severely damaged. I'm not saying it wouldn't be worth it to attempt to recover it, but I think what should happen is a group should go and recover the the seat of power, as it were, because I don't know how damaged that component was. It'd be at least worth investigating. Recovering the whole ship seems like a waste of manpower, but something to recover the seat. And Captain Monier says, interesting. We may sick some of these Starlight people on it. See what they can do. Do you know where it was lost? And she like walks over to a table and rolls open the desk and pulls out a map of the Shimmering Seas and puts it on a table and puts weights on all corners.
Can I pull out our corner of the map?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
yeah.
Point approximately?
Beautiful. Yeah. I feel like this is actually a little bit tricky to do, and the consequences, ironically, will not be for you guys, but I want you to do this anyway. Do you have navigations tools or something like that?
No.
Thea does.
Thea does. Excellent. Well, Thea's not here. Cool. So why don't you roll, we'll call this straight wisdom.
Okay.
Yeah, with a 14, that's a very good roll. Yeah, so so you point to the where you think it is on the map. You're not actually in the wilderness, so it's not that you can get lost. It's that it's harder to like the abstraction is tricky, right? So but you point to where you think roughly the airship crashed, and she nods and says, "Well, I'll get a recovery crew to comb that area quickly." So what's the agenda? What's the plan?
Well, Captain, we want you to take us to the Kva.
Excellent.
Because that's what Roland Starfire would want.
Excellent. We will see it done. We leave tomorrow morning.
Celexa looks shocked, but she says, "Oh, well, that's great. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah,
That's
thank you, Captain.
very kind."
There are
You may not
11.
be members of the Order of Starlight, but this whole mission that you're on is under the auspices of the Grand Accord, and the Order of Starlight is an arm of the Grand Accord. Of course, we're going to support you.
Great. There are 11 of us. That will be fine with your accommodations.
It'll be a little cramped, but we can make do.
Perfect.
Well, great. I think that's all we had, right? I mean, if we can get, or can we leave tomorrow?
We're leaving tomorrow morning early. Breakfast at the Seven Silvers Inn. They've got this great cheddar biscuit thing, but the Order of Starlight will cover that. Do you have rooms for the night?
We have.
Yes, and
Excellent.
we should go and let everybody else know.
Excellent.
They get-
Very well. Keep the drinking and carousing to a reasonable amount, and the Order of Starlight will pick up the tab.
Thank you.
We'll let them know. Thank you, Captain. Celexa kind of like awkwardly walks off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the captain quickly shakes hands with the captains quickly shake hands, and then she nods at Timothy.
Until tomorrow morning.
You make your way off the ship, and Timothy, Captain Fliston says to you, "Well, that went surprisingly well."
I agree. I guess there is something to be said for honesty being the best policy.
Yes, although we didn't mention the thing with Masozi. I didn't know if I should bring it up or remind anyone. I didn't want to imply to be after she shoot out Celexa. Sorry about that, Celexa. I tried to find a place to stand up for you, but you handled yourself well.
The important thing is we got what we need.
Right.
And I don't know. It might just be best if she, we can tell her if she asks, but she, we don't necessarily need to volunteer the information that he's.
That's exactly along the lines that I was thinking.
Yeah. At this point, we don't. We
Plausible
still
deniability.
can trust, and so I think that very important information should be kept fairly secret.
I agree.
Okay.
Perhaps you could send Meek into the woods to let Masozi know the plan tomorrow morning.
Sure.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the Sylvan Silver's Inn, Caliban, you're hanging out in the room. Are you accomplishing anything in this room in particular, or are you just relaxing, taking a nap? Well earned. What's going on?
Caliban is really, really happy to be back in a sort of civilization place. But is growing increasingly frustrated with the people he's around. Izzy, the party, everybody. He's always done things by himself for himself. And feels, and so he's taking a moment to sort of. Is Arturo in the room with him?
Yeah, I think there are a couple people in the room.
Okay.
Izzy and Meek are in the room as well. And I
Okay.
think to add insult to injury at this moment, Meek has been listening to Timothy, and if it's okay with you, Timothy, I think one of the pieces of advice that Timothy gave Meek is one of the best ways to prove that you fully understand something is to teach it to someone else. And Meek is teaching Izzy how to tie this knot. And so Izzy is just like has learned how to tie this knot and is running around just tying this knot everywhere, constantly tying the drapes, tying the curtains, tying everything while you are in the room. You can stop Izzy anytime you want, but basically you have to say stop every like 40 seconds. Otherwise, Izzy's gonna tie another knot.
So Caliban's trying to meditate. And is so frustrated that his eyes shoot open and he throws his glaive in the direction of Izzy, intending to miss.
Izzy hops up and like lands on the glaive.
It sticks out of the wall.
Boss.
Sorry, I'm feeling a little. The alcohol was good for a second, and then it wasn't. I'm gonna go for a walk. You okay staying here?
Sure, boss. Do you want company, Caliban?
I go knock on Nova's door if she's around, and then Thea's.
Yeah.
And Nova first. Nova, I need some fresh air. You want to come?
Yeah, let's go.
I'm gonna knock on Thea's door. Thea, I kind of want to go for a walk. You want to come?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thea, I think you hear in your head, just as you're leaving, anything you want me to do while you're gone?
Just watch the stuff, I say back.
And as I'm leaving, I say to Arturo, and I whisper in his ear, if Izzy does anything truly stupid, feel free to knock her out.
Got it, boss.
I head downstairs. In the first floor of the tavern, do I notice anyone looking at us oddly?
Ooh, excellent question. Let me check. No, I don't think anyone is really looking at you oddly. I mean, I think you attract looks from locals,
right?
But not like, but people aren't really looking at you that oddly.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, is the red lizard wolf guy there still telling stories?
Yeah, he's like still loud as all get out, and like his stories are so clearly tall tales, right? You know, I think you as you're walking through, it's like, so there I was by myself on the peak of Chiziwa Peaks, just me and the dragon just looked at me and roared, and I just decked him in the jaw, decked him right like that, and then I gave him the old 1-2, and the dragon, bam, fell out of the sky and crashed in the snow ground below, and you know, like it's just that whole thing going on, and like people are, and then what happened? And so he's like, well, of course we all know that the dragon was mind controlled, right? I dropped hints about that before. So the dragon was mind controlled. And what was controlling the dragon? Why, this weird glowing eye creature with 10 eyes around its one central eye. And it came and it tried to stunt me. You know, it just goes on and on. And anytime he does something cool, people are like, but then what happens? And he escalates even higher and higher and higher.
Nova would like to size him up and see if he looks like he can actually do anything.
Yeah, sure. Roll an insight check. can definitely tell a very compelling and convincing story.
Nova gives like the biggest, most obvious eye roll and that she possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think you noticed that like what like I don't know if you've ever heard of this before, but like this is the sort of person who like is basically selling the idea of adventure to rich people. So like all the people that are surrounding him are like wannabe adventurers, like, but all of them have like really nice new gear that they bought that has never been used, right? And so he's gonna be like taking them on, like, this is the sort of like Celexa certainly has friends who have done this sort of thing before. This is the sort of thing like he's probably essentially like a probably skilled to a certain degree ranger, who like will take them into the woods and like go camping, and like then they'll fight a bear together and he'll actually like kill the bear in one shot, but like they'll feel like they killed a bear and he'll get big
Adventure
tips for it.
tourism.
Yeah, adventure tourism. That's exactly what's going on here. But on top of that, he is a good storyteller, right? Like he has a high charisma and tells a good story, so people like love him, right? That's sort of what's going on here.
Okay.
So we'll head outside, and everyone's still on the ship, right?
Yeah, they're still on the ship talking.
Okay. I turn to the two of you and say, so I don't really want to go anywhere in particular right now. I think maybe we could do some shopping when we get back, but I'm just gonna wander a little bit. You're free to join me, or yeah.
Yeah, let's check out the town.
Okay, so I'm going to go looking specifically for areas with very few people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nova would like to keep an eye out for some place that would sell like a world map.
Absolutely. Okay. There's a general store. Whether they'll have a world map or not is a different question, but they might have some sort of maps for sale there. And then looking for sort of places with very few people. So the residential neighborhoods are much more quiet, but you could also just go to like there's plenty of like wilderness around, and then there's a part of town that has like a little park, very like a curated park. It's all very very planned and organized. You know, there's a bench, there's a pool of water that's like a little pond that's a perfect circle. And you look at it and it's got like a marble tile base into it. It's not like a pond. It's actually like a small like reflecting pool type thing. And like a large tree that's planted like perfectly in the center with bushes on the other side. It's all very balanced. Is that an okay space for you?
Beautiful. And so I stop at the park and I turn to Thea and I say, Thea, do you have any? Where did you learn to shoot, by the way?
You know, just around the house. Well, you know, sometimes I'd have to catch some dinner.
Do you have any swords or daggers or anything?
What was that?
Do you have any swords or daggers or anything? Like up close and
just
personal?
this short sword.
Okay. And I look around. Is there anyone around right now? In the park?
I think that there's like a woman who's sitting like at the reflecting pool. She's looking very calmly into the pool.
Okay. And I turn to the two of you and I say, so it's a little out of character, but I'm in a really bad mood and I need to let out some steam. And I take out my glaive and I say, do you want to spar a little bit?
Okay.
Okay. And I lunge at Nova.
Are you lunging at me?
with the butt of my glaive. Try to knock to the ground.
Yeah, make an attack roll.
Okay.
I'm presuming non-lethality, but
yeah. Oh, 100%. 14 doesn't.
Yeah, 14 does not hit. Nova, you just dodge out of the way rather effectively, and I think as you do that, you do draw your greatsword.
Yeah, I'm just smiling. I'm all about this.
Excellent. Yeah. Thea, are you getting involved in this as well? Is this going to be a three-way tussle of madness?
Oh
Are you gonna
yeah,
step
this looks
Excellent.
fun. So,
Cool. Thea, what are you doing?
I'm gonna, try my short sword
Mhm.
because it needs to practice.
Okay. And who are you targeting?
Caliban.
Okay. Take a short sword swing at Caliban. And a total miss.
I take the rest of the glaive and sort of drive it backward, and knock the short sword up from where you were going in my back.
Absolutely. And let's give a spot to Nova.
I totally attack Caliban. I hold back a little.
Hold back a little.
You don't need to.
Yeah, roll that swing. Ooh, I think holding back a little gets you in a little bit of trouble, Nova. A 10 is not going to hit. So you take you like hold back a little, and for you that means moving just a little bit slower than you normally do. And Caliban just uses it as an opportunity to duck underneath the blade of your greatsword. Caliban, what do you want to do?
I'm going to step back a moment, and I'm going to cast my spiritual weapon.
Okay. Yeah, so it's an action to cast spiritual weapon.
Right in between the two of them.
Cool. And
it's an action to cast.
It's an action to cast. It's a bonus action to use.
Okay, great.
I should double check that. Did I get that wrong?
I think it's a bonus action to use and a bonus action to cast.
Well, then never mind. Yes, it is. In fact, you are 100% correct.
Okay. So I cast my spiritual weapon. You both see the water at the reflecting pool ripple a little bit, and sort of shooting out from it comes this sort of like it looks like tidal waves swirling around in a ball, basically. It comes rushing at the two of you, and sort of plants itself down right between the two of you, and makes an attack roll on Thea.
Make that attack roll.
And then simultaneously, I swing at Nova.
Okay, Nova, a 17. Does a 17 hit? No. 21 though, spiritual weapon. I'm pretty sure that will hit Thea.
Yeah.
Roll that beautiful spiritual weapon damage.
Cast at level 2, yes. 12 force damage.
Wow. 12 force damage.
Ow.
Thea. Caliban just got serious, bringing in magic into this whole thing. What's your response to that?
Seems like it's 2-on-1, so
That's
thought
true.
I'd even the odds.
I'm gonna try my short sword again. Ooh, 20.
Ooh, 20. And this is against Caliban again?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that definitely hits. Roll that damage. What do you think? Is Nova your ally? Is this 2-on-1?
Seems like Caliban
Excellent.
was asking for it, right?
You like to add your sneak attack then?
Okay, yeah.
Go for it.
Sneak attack. Oops, wrong. Oh yeah, that was it.
Oof.
Nice. That is 14 points of damage. I think your sneak attack die went up. Went to 3d6, right? Am I wrong?
2d6. It went to 2d6.
Dude, yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
It was
Excellent.
1d. Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, so it's 14 points of damage, Caliban. How are you holding up?
I'm panting and I'm bleeding from a cut down my arm, but I'm feeling a lot better. And I pull up and sheath my glaive and dissipate the spiritual weapon. And I go, thank you. Let up some steam. And
That was pretty cool.
yeah, hope you had fun.
If I smelled bad, you could just tell me. You don't need to splash all that water on me.
Yeah, no problem. But I mean, I wanted it to be kind of impromptu. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been as fun as it just was. You know, there's some order in finding balance, and this helped me find some balance.
You hear a voice from the pool. You are right, of course. The woman who is sitting at the pool speaks to you.
I turn and bow slightly to her and say, "Sorry, you had to. Well, maybe you got a show. I don't know."
Yes, it was quite a show.
What's your name, if I may be so bold?
Oh, I am Sarana.
Sorana. I'm Caliban. Pleasure to meet you. Are you local?
Yes,
Sorana.
I run the shop. It's just over the hill over there.
Do I get a sense that she's more than she appears?
Not in the sense that like you got that when you met with Samo. More, but she's certainly like I don't know. She's certainly local. What do you mean by that?
Well, what does she look like?
Yeah. So she's human, and a little bit on the pudgy side, but sort of has a warm face in some ways. But her hair is kind of remarkably uncared for at all. So it's a little bit grungy, but everything else about her looks very pleasant. She has sort of an aura about her of like probably knows a little bit about the world. Like there's a wiseness that you can see there, but it doesn't strike you as like overwhelming or overpowering or anything like that.
Are you a religious woman?
Well, religion is complicated. I follow the precepts of Abarak. Their philosophies, their ideas. I don't believe in God or gods, as it were.
I should have said spiritual. But yeah. Well, I'm glad we gave you quite a show. What do you sell? You mentioned you have a shop.
Oh, charms, potions. I'm a witch.
Oh.
Let's check it out.
Do you want to go to her shop?
Yeah, why not?
Are you heading back there now?
I certainly can for customers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Let's head to her shop real quick. See if she has anything that we might want.
Yeah. So she stands up from the reflecting pool, and you see her wrap up the remnants of a half-eaten sandwich, and stand up, and she sort of hides it in the folds of her cloak, and then comes towards you and says, "Strangers to this land, yes?"
Yeah.
You'll be better behaved than those Order of Starlight idiots.
Were they not so well behaved?
One of them came into my shop, demanded something, grabbed it, ran out without paying for it.
Was this
They then
Arizona?
they then sent money back later, but still, that's not the way you do things.
Not polite. That's
No.
for sure.
Come. And she
Yeah.
walks over to her shop. It's a good like quarter of a mile away, not substantial. But the shop is very clearly aesthetically designed to feel like a witch's hut. In many ways, it's all like it looks dingy. There's roots that are like growing from the roof of the thing. There's plants that are strung up together. There's like onions that are just like on stacks that are there. And you open it and you go inside and there's like this very earthy scent that comes from it. And all over all of the walls are charms and potions and various little things. There's a desk, but roll what your passive perception is 16. You immediately notice, Caliban, that like the back room, the door is open, and like back there, everything is like fastidiously clean. Everything is like super well kept back there. this is clearly an aesthetic choice, not like a habit one.
I bet
and
it plays great with the adventure tourists, I'm sure.
and yeah, and I think as you enter into this shop of wonders and magics, we will take our break.
Cool.
Hey, world. Welcome back. Hope you're enjoying the show. If you are enjoying the show, please come check out some of our other content. We do all sorts of fun stuff. We play games on Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays right now. Though maybe not Fridays actually anymore. Well, maybe back Fridays. Who knows? Uh, we'll see what happens with that. That was we ended a story pretty intensely last Friday. I was not really planning on ending it, but wow, did that end? Someone was had their soul locked inside of a tree. Someone else had their arm bitten off, and someone else who was already a ghost ended up being completely forgotten by everyone in the world. And someone else discovered their gay romance lifestyle and turned their friend into their vampire lover. So, you know, that was an ending.
They all lived happily ever after.
I mean, or horribly ever after? I don't know. Whatever. So we'll see what happens with that. But for now, at least, technically we're scheduled Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So please come check us out. We have a lot of fun. That game's ending was nuts, and I highly recommend checking out the VOD or the YouTube video. The YouTube video will be up soon. I'm sure. Probably. Whatever. Okay. Back to it. So, Thea and Nova and Caliban, you enter into this witch's hut, and everything is sort of very. It's grungy, but it's also like organized very well. There's charms in places. There's good luck tokens of various sorts. There's fishing tackle here that Timothy might like, of various sorts, and potions, some scrolls, all sorts of things. And you see her go behind the counter and sort of close her eyes for a second and then open them. And her eyes now are like yellow and have cat slits in them. And she looks at you and she says, "Welcome to my shop."
And Caliban starts laughing and says, "Does Moklak bring his crew by every once in a while?"
Yes,
For-
yes, of course he does. It's a little bit of a tourist thing. Come here, see the witch. You know, works out well. Oh, hold on. And she like reaches up and she like grabs her hair and pulls it off, and it's a wig. And underneath is like this very like normal, very short haircut of blonde hair that's perfectly kept. And she looks at you all and fixes her eyes.
Hi.
That's a fun.
You know, it's a living. I make a lot in the tourist seasons. Not a lot. Most people here don't really need charms. I mean, every once in a while, someone will come in and get, you know, a gift for their mother for Mother's Day or something like that. But safety charms every once in a while for people going deeper into the mines. But you know,
Do you have any lanyards?
well, we call them curios. We have them. They're braided though. They'll work like a lanyard.
Great. I do like lanyards.
Sure. Do you want one enchanted with a certain spell?
That's a good question. What do you sell the most of?
Well, I've got a lot of good luck charms. People tend to like. They work pretty well. Here, and she pulls out, and they look a little bit like a wooden stick, and then on them, written in some language. What languages do you read, Caliban?
Let me tell you. Probably not this one.
Yeah, it seems unlikely actually.
No, ancient Celestri, and Kalani.
Yeah, so it's like very blocky notation, very square. Everything's very orderly about it. But she says, "Here, this is a good luck charm. It's like a little stick."
Interesting. How much for one of these?
That's running at 25 gold right now.
What does
Okay.
it do?
Oh, it's a good luck charm. You snap it, and you get a little bit of extra luck. Helps in all sorts of circumstances.
Very cool. I pass it back to her. We, what if we were going a place that no one has ever really been before? What might be something that would be useful for us?
Uh,
If, just curious.
so just obviously you don't want to speak too much about it, but can you give me some idea about what you might be facing while you're there? Are you worried about creatures? Are you worried about the foreign language? I've got something that can help with translation potentially. Although,
Translation would be very useful.
sure, yeah,
As would um some sort of alarm system, perhaps.
safety is what
Safety.
you're worried about.
Mhm.
Also, do you have anything like to disguise yourself or something like invisibility potions?
Do I have anything to disguise myself?
No, strange question, right?
And she starts chuckling. Yeah, I mean, I can certainly sell you like a standard disguise kit, no problem. If you're
Uh,
looking for something like that.
okay. Anything like one step above a disguise kit?
So you're looking for magical disguise.
Something for like long-term use or for like very powerful disguise.
Like an alter self of some sort. Way to alter one's self.
I don't know if I have any spell that'll work exactly like that. I do have alter self. I can alter a portion of you to make you more feline or more fishy, or something like that. But I don't know if that really disguises you very well. I do have my disguise kits. I would just practice using them. And honestly, I think that the biggest thing is acting. It's the mannerism more than anything else. If you act like a different person, even if you look very similar, if you act like a different person and maybe just change your shirt to something that they've never seen before, my experience is that works quite well. I actually frequently sell things here as the witch and then go in to the town and we'll have drinks with Mocklock's people, and they'll tell me stories about meeting the horrific witch, and I'm not really doing anything.
Caliban finds all this really funny.
So does she have anything that would be particularly useful from that perspective? Monster Death Ward, Fire Shield, Freedom of Movement, Greater Invisibility, Stone Skill, and Awaken Commune. Contact other plane dominant person, Greater Restoration.
How much for the invisibility potion?
Well, again, it's not a potion; it's a curio, so it's single use, but no big. Yeah, and she pulls out another one of these sort of sticks of wood that she has engraved some text on it, and she looks at you and she says, "This is 125 gold."
Mm-hmm. And you said it was greater.
Oh, I have a greater one as well. Yeah, and she reaches, and that's like another stick of wood. She pulls out. This will be like 350.
Okay.
And how much for the disguise kits?
They're 20 gold.
Okay. And do you need two separate disguise kits for two different people, or?
No, but just assume that you'll go through it twice as fast.
Okay.
So I think of if you're disguising yourself every day, you think about you'll probably go through a disguise kit in a month, right? But if you've got two people, then you'll go through it in about half a week.
All right. Could I get one of the disguise kits?
Yeah, of course. And she pulls out a bag and starts loading it up and has like a little box in there, and she just puts it in the bag.
And how much was it?
20 gold.
Okay. Nova pays for one.
Can I get one of those good luck charms?
Absolutely, of course. And she just she holds up her hand, and it just flies off the shelf and lands in her hand, and she hands it to you.
Thank you. 25 gold, you said?
Yes.
If I bought this and a healing potion, how much for a healing potion?
Well, typically 50, but I'm doing discounts to non-tourists, and while you may be travelers, you are not tourists. Based on If you guys spend over 100 gold, I'll give you a 20% discount.
Total. So if we
Yes.
if we spend
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Well, do you have anything good for air travel or?
Like a charm against air sickness, or a way to travel in the air?
Just any kind of maybe good luck things for sky travel.
I see what you mean. Yes, of course. Hold on. And she like turns around and goes to the back and walks past like a pot of boiling green bubbles. She just ignores it. It's been boiling the whole time, and she's never stirred it or anything like that. And she goes into the back and comes out, and she has like a small glass vial, and in it is a whole bunch of herbs. And she says, "Mix this in with boiling water and drink it. It'll settle your nerves and be good luck."
And this luck is just general luck for air travel?
Yes, it'll specifically help you with. I mean, she doesn't really have a way of saying this. She calls it luck, but basically, it'll help you with dexterity saving throws or things of that nature while in the air.
And
much
how
for
much is
that?
this?
5 gold.
Oh, good price.
So I'll get the good luck charm and a potion of healing.
Great. That puts you at 75.
And then Winona, you were getting a disguise kit.
That puts you at 85. That puts you at 95, and then a 5 gold for that. Wow, that's 100 gold. Discount to 80.
Great. So more individually, like 20% from each of us. That would be 60 gold from me instead of 75.
Yeah.
And then Winona from you.
Yep.
And then
and then from
so
whatever.
20% off of whatever you have.
Yeah, it's fine. You round it. I'm not that worried. I'm not going to be nickel and diming you on the coins here.
Okay. I'm spent 60 gold, and I have just a normal 2d4 plus.
Yeah, you have a basic healing potion and a good luck charm. The good luck charm can be you snap it and you get advantage on your next roll.
Okay.
Whatever it is.
Could I potentially like use that before combat to get an advantage on initiative?
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. Any D20 roll.
Great.
Thea, yours is cheaper because it's more specific. It'll give you, if you drink it anytime in the next week, you can take a advantage on a dexterity saving throw of your choice.
And okay. Well, thank you so much. Pleasure to meet you.
Of course.
And do either of you want anything else?
Not unless you have maps.
I'm sorry, I don't. But the mayor, she'll have maps. You can always ask her.
Okay.
She runs the general store.
Great.
Yeah.
That's so quaint. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thanks. And I guess we'll head back to the inn.
Yep,
Or
absolutely.
can we start by the maps first?
Well,
Absolutely.
I'll head back to the inn then. If you want to
Okay.
stop by and get the maps.
I'll go to the general store with you.
Okay.
Cool. The general store has any items available for sale in the player's handbook that are under the cost of 25 gold.
Okay. I'd like
so-
to get just a world map.
Yep, absolutely. We don't have a world map because I haven't made a world map, but we do have is a Shimmering Seas map. And so you get a copy of the Shimmering Seas map. The world is partially uncharted. A lot of the places don't really communicate super well with each other. There's theoretically a whole campaign about that might go on at some point. But you get a map of the Shimmering Seas.
Great.
Sound good?
Yeah, I'm thinking we should have more than a quarter of a map.
It looks, in case you're curious.
Curious.
Yes.
Yay!
Nice.
Not that you can see it all.
No.
But I'll add a digital copy to the Discord, and you can use as a reference.
Cool.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Yeah.
No problem. Good stuff. Hey, thumbs up.
Thank you, Nova.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's always one of the smartest moments that a player can make, is that moment when they're like, "Hey, I wonder if there's a map that I can purchase of this area." Oh, it's always good. I remember when my players did that in my Curse of Strahd, in my first Curse of Strahd game. They were like so confused about the layout of everything, and like had been playing, I don't know, maybe 40 sessions, and then they're like, I wonder if the store that we always keep going into, do they sell maps? I'm like, yes. And they purchased a map, and they had a map, and they could find their way. It's amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, I can't. Nope. I can't upload it right now, but I will later. I'll upload that.
We're not
later.
going anywhere.
The size is too big. I need to shrink the file size. Okay, cool. So you get a map and all that good stuff. Excellent. So we find ourselves back in the tavern.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess we'll wait for Timothy and Selexa to be back, unless they're already back.
Yep, I think they'll be back by now.
Okay.
Unless they went on another errand. Timothy, Selexa, did either of you go on another errand?
When I get back, I will talk to Meek and say, "Oh, very nice knots. I'm impressed. Would you mind doing something else for me?"
Of course.
Okay, great. We have a plan, and we are setting sail tomorrow. Could you go tell our Kabah friend out in the forest that we are setting sail tomorrow morning?
Excellent. Tomorrow morning, I will tell him.
Great. And on your way back, could you stop at the general store? I need you to pick up a couple things.
Of course, no problem.
Great. And so I give him some money. And I don't know, I don't know what you like. Why don't you buy something nice for yourself too?
Really?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for helping me.
Can you have him pick up a scroll case for me as well? Scroll or map case.
Sure. Absolutely.
Awesome.
No problem, mistress.
I will pass a gold piece over for that.
No problem, mistress.
Thank you.
And I think instead of leaving out the front door, he scampers out the window and like jumps down the side of the building. And I think as he's doing this is when Caliban is approaching back to the inn. So you see Meek like scamper down the side of the building.
Right. Okay. No, back inside.
Excellent. Yeah.
Are they hanging out in the same room upstairs? Do we have like sort of a communal room that we've decided is the communal room?
I think that's basically what's happened.
Okay. So
I go.
Okay, I go up to my room. And
just because you left Izzy in there, you know.
Yeah, that's true. I go up to my room, and speaking of Izzy, what's Izzy up to, and what is Arturo up to?
Yeah. So Izzy has been tying knots like crazy. You left her alone, so your entire bed is just like knot. Arturo is like sitting there untying the knots patiently one after another, but he's a little slower at untying them than Izzy is at tying them. Meek, when he was learning to tie knots, like would tie a knot and then untie it and then tie it again and untie it. He was like practicing on one rope, like one little strand of rope that he was working on over and over again. But Izzy is just like, nope, done with that knot, gonna go tie one over there. So it's a little bit of a mess. Arturo is untying everything as we go, and he looks up at you and says, "Hey."
I place a hand on his shoulder and I say, "You have boundless patience. Thank you. Much more than I could ever have."
I don't think that's true, boss. You have a lot of patience.
You should have seen me earlier.
You should have seen
When I smile at Nova. What? How did it go? Alexa and Tim.
Oh,
How
oh
did it go?
well, we have we've got passage tomorrow, tomorrow morning to the Kava.
Oh,
Yeah, it took a little convincing, but I think that I managed to sort of sweet talk her into it. So,
what's she
um,
like?
I don't. Tim, what do you think? What is she like?
The cat, I liked her. The captain was very straightforward, and I guess you would call it no nonsense. But
You're
yeah,
right.
when
You're right. She was weird. I agree. Yeah, she was kind of weird.
Weird, how so?
Just kind of rude, but it's all right. It's fine. I mean, she's helping us out, so I don't want to say too much.
we leave
Um,
tomorrow morning, but
okay.
they're paying for us breakfast and to a limited extent, nothing crazy. That's what we were told. Partying tonight.
All right.
I remember my party days back in college. That was a while ago.
Well, where did you go?
uh, University Celestra, of course.
Ah, the good old UC. Yeah. UCC. UCUC. Yeah, I opted for the academy instead. But here I am now.
So, just for a point of clarity, Chalestra is a society that values education a lot, and in fact, there is a city in Chalestra on one of the islands called Hile, Hileh, and Hile is sometimes known as the city of colleges. It's basically Boston. There's like there's like
The city
20
of
or 30
colleges.
different schools that are all based in this city. Some like elite boarding schools for like high schoolers, but some colleges. There's also a wizard tower there as well. So it's like a big like the entire economy of that place is based off of study. And so statistically speaking, you likely studied there. There is a University of Chalestra in Racy as well, but it's much less populated and much less famous, and much less of a like destination, as it were. But educated people probably studied somewhere on the island of Hile.
Okay. I'm just realizing this, but since I didn't come from money or anything, and also I don't necessarily have a real job per se, I think I definitely am in horrible amounts of debt on student loans from 20 years ago, and I just walked away and didn't care about it. So
yeah, I'm sure that's going well for you. Cool.
Yeah.
That's good for me to know. Definitely not going to come up ever. Your backstory is not going to haunt you.
Oh man, I feel like I should have put that in my lines and veils for sure.
No student debt doesn't exist in this world. Oh god, that would be so nice. I'm not having a panic attack. Okay. Back to it.
We have the rest of the day then. Is that right?
I mean, it's probably been a little bit. Like we have gone through some stuff.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, so I think you hear a knock on the door.
Oh.
Nova opens it.
Yeah. And you see there the tiefling from before, sort of a dark-skinned tiefling with curled horns, very tall and skinny. And he looks at you all, and he says, "The current time is 4:00, 4:30, somewhere between then. I wasn't checking, but we're planning on having a mild dinner celebration at about 6:30. If you would care to join us."
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Love a party.
He nods and turns and walks away.
Who was that?
Yeah, he's a little. Who was that?
But wasn't he like one of the group of people who went and fought the
Yep.
Oh,
Scarlet Manticore or whatever.
he was. I like remember 4 of them, but he was like sort of slinking in the background. I didn't really pop out to me. Interesting. Cool. In the
Well, I
meantime,
guess we'll
then,
get to know him.
yeah. In the meantime, then, Celexa, do you want to go clothes shopping?
Well, I mean, in this town?
Better than what we're wearing.
Well, Alexa's clothes are actually well. She said, "Well, sure, I'll come along." Oh, her clothes are pretty spotless. Actually, she doesn't
Okay.
because
Never mind.
she like prestidigitates everything away like the moment
Oh,
that
you
it
have prestidigitation.
but but she will totally come along with you on a shopping expedition. It's hard to say no. So
Okay.
yeah.
Does anyone else want to go to the blacksmith? That's something that I really had some interest in.
No, but would like to go to the Smith.
So maybe we could go there before dinner.
That sounds like a great plan.
Okay.
Theo will go too.
Okay. Tim, you're staying behind. All right.
Well, I'm not gonna. No, I'm actually going to go bathe myself, but in the river. Strangely enough, I'm just more used to it, you know.
Sure, totally fair. Okay, so Timothy goes and bathes himself in the river. Nova, Thea, and Caliban go to the blacksmith before Caliban and Celexa go clothes shopping. Does that sound good?
So Lexa will go to the blacksmith as well, and then we'll see if there's time for clothes shopping or not. I mean,
Yeah, that's
blacksmith. Let's go to the blacksmith.
Excellent. Cool. So you go to the blacksmith. And there's a guy. He looks like he's taking like an afternoon break. He's not really working. He's got like a book that he's reading. The blacksmith is he's got like a house, but then attached to it is like an outdoor blacksmith with like a cloth covering over it, or like a canvas covering over it of some sort, to keep out the weather a little bit. But it doesn't really look like it's not very well protected or anything like that. It's not an indoor shop. It's outdoor. And he's just sort of sitting there reading under the tarp.
okay. As we get closer, then I'll say, "Hail, my call. Merrick sends his regards."
You know, Merrick? Tell me, how is he? How is his journey going?
Well, he hit a little bit of a snafu. He had a little bit of a pitfall. Some bandits stole a bunch of his stuff. We managed to make sure that he was at least all right. But he's gonna tough it out, and they're gonna keep going.
That man is always getting into trouble. It is
Really?
constant. He is. I do not know why he keeps on insisting on doing this idiotic search. It's always a dumb quest. It's just a waste of his time. But he keeps on looking for things that he will never find, and it's just, and he's always putting himself at risk. And every time he leaves town, I worry.
What sort of things is he?
Yeah.
He's got some foolish idea about finding a source of what's that stuff called? That substance wizards use it. I don't know. Whatever. The glows blue. Earth's blood. He's got this foolish idea that he's going to find a vein of Earth's blood somewhere in the woods. It's stupid. It's never going to happen. Every time he finds out, oh, there's a new spot where something might be, and I'm going to go check it out. And it's
Is Earth's blood very valuable?
Hmm?
Is Earth's blood very valuable or useful?
Yes, incredibly valuable. Wizards will pay an arm and a leg for it. I don't really know what to do with it myself, so I would never purchase any. But yes, yes, bring it to a wizard's tower. They will give you usually around 400 to 500 gold an ounce.
Good to know. Thank you.
No.
I was wondering.
He's okay, you say. He's okay, you say.
Yeah. Oh no, we managed to convince the bandits to leave them alone. Thank
Well
you.
then, you are a
We
true
gave them a little bit of money to go on their way.
you are a true friend here of Mikal, and whatever you need, discounts all around.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Thank you. Um, I turned to Nova and Thea and Selecta. Was there anything that you all wanted in particular? I was thinking about something, but you guys go first.
Just browse.
Yeah. So Winona, why don't you roll an investigation check for me? Sorry, by Winona I mean Nova.
Okay.
It's all made of metal. Yeah. I mean, he's got some stuff. Looks okay.
I'll drop a
Nothing,
detect
nothing
magic
stands out to you. Yeah.
here.
You want to cast detect magic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. You detect that he has a small necklace on that is magical that he's wearing.
Hmm.
And it is I think abjuration magic would be what it would be.
Okay.
But nothing in the shop is magical.
Okay. Great. I look around and I say, do you sell any like any spears that might be able to like return to its owner? Like a harpoon or a spear with a chain attached, something of that sort.
No. That's
Okay.
very southern of you. We don't live on the water, so when we throw our spear, we just go pick it up.
Right. Sorry.
I
Just a
could
thought.
construct something like that for you if you'd like.
How long would it take?
Not long, maybe a day or two.
Okay. Unfortunately, we're leaving in the morning early. Never mind. It was just a thought. Um, but do you happen to sell any um let me see here. Oh, look at the weapons. So he sells like anything from sort of general weapons,
I mean, potentially, yeah. I mean, he's got stuff.
right?
Yeah.
Can I
It
look at your
well,
bows?
sure. And he points, and yeah, there's long bows, there's short bows. I've got some hand crossbows and some heavy crossbows and some light crossbows.
Okay. How much
Actually, I only have
for
one heavy crossbow, but you can, it's for sale. So
right? How much for do you have a kind of a crossbow that might be a little bit more covert, but even more so than a hand crossbow?
um, like a dart.
Darts perhaps. Yeah,
I have a blowgun.
sure. How much for that?
Um, yeah, he goes over and grabs it, and he brings it over, and 10 gold,
10 gold. Um,
and then a gold for
mm,
like 5 darts.
mm, no, never mind. It's all right. They look sort of a little crestfallen.
Sorry, I don't have a
With
lot
that.
of stock here. There's not usually most people come here for horseshoes.
Oh, really? You big in the horseshoe market?
Yeah, horseshoes or trimmings for houses, nails. People come here for nails a lot, or for you know, Matthew is forgetting the name, but obviously he is not because he makes them all the
Yes.
hinges.
Door hinges. Hmm.
Yeah, door hinges. I mean, I like weapons, and that's I make weapons. I have shields. You've got a good collection of shields over there,
Hmm.
but I'm not. That's not.
Mm-hmm.
There's not really a lot of call for it.
Right. What's that around your neck? Oh, it's glints in the sunlight. It's quite
Oh,
beautiful.
this? And he pulls
Mhm.
it out. He says, "Oh, This is a charm. I bought it from the witch. It's a good luck charm. I get one every time Eric is off, and then snap it for him.
Oh, so nice.
My
Oh.
wife doesn't really understand like why I worry so, but you know, sometimes a man's got to worry, you know.
So Lexa is like not nearly as entertained as she thought she would be by this kind of scenario, and like the minute that he starts talking about horseshoes, like her eyes glaze over, and she is, and I think she is probably going to just kind of like make her excuses and go off by herself back to and sort of wander back in the direction of the inn.
Yeah, the inn's more or less directly across the street, so pretty easy to get back there. Okay.
Well, you know, we might be back. I think if we need something, we know where to go. So thank you so much.
Sure. Yeah. Of course. Happy to. Thank you again for saving Merrick. I really, really appreciate it.
It's doing our duty.
You've got a strange definition of duty there, dude.
I do. Yeah. And I walk out.
What about you, Miss? You looking for anything?
Do you have any armor?
Sure.
Maybe
yeah.
something
Got
better than
various sorts of armor.
something kind of light, but maybe more protective than this one.
Yeah, you're wearing leather armor.
I think just light armor. I don't know.
Cool. Yeah, what's your dexterity mod?
Uh, 4.
That's 4.
Yeah.
I don't think she's wearing anything.
Great.
Oh.
Let's
Ooh.
then the best thing that you can probably get at this point is studded leather armor.
Okay. And will
Which will be
that
45
raise
gold.
my AC or my?
That'll set your AC to 16.
Okay.
What's your AC at now? 14?
14.
Yeah, so that'll put it to 16. So that'll be 45 gold.
45. All right, sounds good.
But he's giving you a discount, so that'll be 40 gold.
Well, thank you.
Excellent.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah. So you can add studded leather armor to your items and then change your AC to 16.
Awesome.
Okay. Anything Nova?
No, Nova walked out with Caliban.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Cool. And I look around and I see Selex's gone. I turn to Thea and Nova and I say, clothes for either of you? Do you want anything? I'm personally kind of partial to looking a little bit better than this.
I'm good.
I'd go with you, but I probably won't buy anything.
All right. I'll just make a quick trip, just super fast to like if there's a tailor.
Yeah, absolutely. There is. Do you want something common or nice?
Something nice, something that I could walk into the court of the Kava and feel good about it.
Yeah. Okay. Then you're gonna want to spend like 15 gold minimum.
Yeah.
That's sort of like standard fancy. That's like sort of the equivalent of buying a suit, right?
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
There's certainly higher class suits and things like that, but at least you'll be wearing a suit.
Yeah, and that's I'm happy about that because I lost any fine clothes that I had in the crash, so I'll spend 15 gold to buy myself something nice.
Sounds good. Excellent. Okay.
Question: does Thea go back to the inn? Is Thea going back to the inn?
Yeah.
So I think when Lexa sees Thea and her new armor, she is going to like make an excuse and kind of like sneak back across to the blacksmith and buy some set of leather herself.
Yeah. Yeah, 12 plus 12 plus dex for your AC then.
Thank you.
No problem.
And I think Thea goes to find Thylor,
Mhm.
and she's developing her psionic abilities, so she's kind of practicing with Thylor. So like all you can see them do is like stare at each other, and they're like practicing sending each other messages, like, what number are you thinking of? And they just like do silently like different numbers.
I love it. Yeah. And let's see. I think he tries to tell you like I think he tries to tell you jokes, like to get you to laugh out loud. And they're all jokes about like being psychic. I'm not very funny.
Very inside.
But he tells you like jokes about being psychic, you know? Like I don't know. I'm not good at being funny. But yeah, but he tells you jokes about being psychic and talking to people psionically and yeah. And it's very friendly. He also tells you a little bit about his culture. In Abarak, psionics are quite common. People have them, but they're substantially weaker than yours are. And typically, speaking to someone psionically is a sign of trust in a relationship, friendship or romantic, but not for all people. But that's not an uncommon thing in his society. So he tells you a little bit about that.
Nice.
Okay. That evening, you all coalesce and get together for a dinner party with the other group. And yeah, they seem nice. The friendliest of them is definitely Isana, the halfling. She looks remarkably normal, but she is just like super gung ho, and she wants to talk about like brewing strategies and like how to make beer. And she's like, and you find out from her that she was a bartender for a long time before she joined the Order of Starlight, and like she's super friendly about everything. She was from Pryan, and so she'll talk about like life in Pryan, and she owned a bar there. And I think Nova, you may have actually like even been to this bar once. It was like in a neighboring town, but like it was a nice enough town that you'd been there or whatever,
When she was like 15.
Yeah, exactly. It's still Fantasyland.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's super friendly. Let's see. The tiefling Hardener is very like stiff upper lippy and very rarely says words. But every once in a while just has like a comment. Usually like asking a kind of disarmingly probing question. You'll be telling a story and you'll say, and then this happened, and he'll say, interesting. Why? No, why? Why did you do that? Why would you behave like that? That sort of thing. Little weird
Love
that
it.
way. Rain seems very uncomfortable. She tends to avoid the conversation. Partway through, she walks out to stand outside a little bit. Urza is super loud and all about it, and Grak just keeps on drinking and very rarely says anything. It's kind of funny. Urza and Osana sort of make up for the taciturn nature of the rest of the party, so it feels like there's 10 people there, even though like only 2 people are doing most of the talking. Yeah, so Rain stands up and leaves, and just like stands outside or something. Yeah. Anyone want to chat with anyone in particular, or should we just move on?
Oh, sorry, Ami. You want to do something? No? Okay. I'll turn to Grok and say, you like drinking?
Yes. It's not the blood of my enemies, but it's booze. I'll take it.
It's good enough, right? Do you want to have a little contest?
Ha! Yes.
Excellent. Can I get another round?
Loser loses an arm.
We can say that figuratively. Yeah, sure. But I want my arms. Thank you very much. Loser has to stand on his head up against a wall for 5 minutes.
Done.
Great.
And he reaches out and like tries to shake your hand.
I go for it.
Yeah, and he shakes your hand, and like it's a tough handshake. It's very strong.
I turn to Nova and I say, "Do you want in?"
Yes. And then
Awesome.
arm wrestling.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You can arm wrestle whoever wins, because the person who loses is probably going to be on the floor for a little while.
Absolutely.
Timothy calls out as he walks outside. Hey, whoever loses and ends up being upside down should try drinking that way too. I saw that when I was in college.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, so we'll just do a quick little contest here. We'll say 3 rounds. We'll see how we're doing. Let's see some con saving throws. This is for speed drinking and drinking fast and not falling over. Let's see.
7 from Nova to start.
Yeah.
3 from me to start.
And rolling the dice from me. 18 from Grant. Yeah.
I think we're already out.
Yeah, so the first round is just hitting the 2 of you quite hard.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I go, what is
I
in
think,
this thing?
and I think Grak just sort of smacks you on the back, like trying to be friendly, and you just like fall to the ground, Caliban. You just like are out.
Oh.
That's 2 out of 3.
You're on, and he smacks it down and starts drinking the next one.
I'm gonna go stand on my head over there.
Oh, you're both doing pretty well now.
damn.
You do finish beforehand, and he says, "Oh, I like it. You've got flair. You've got style."
Nova's pretty small, so the first one hit her pretty hard.
Nice. And he looks at you and he says, "This remembers of my time on my last drinking contest. It was long ago." And he smacks it and says, "Third time."
All right.
14 beats an 11.
Yeah, and he just sort of tips around a little bit and says, "Right, okay, my arm." And he like starts fishing around for a sword, and like puts his arm out to like slash his own arm off.
Caliban, who's doing a headstand in the corner, goes, "No, look, you don't need to. It's okay.
Right, sorry.
Over here. Come join
Wrong
me."
thing. And he like goes over to the corner and he looks at the wall, and he's like steady-ish on his feet. He's definitely like faking not being drunk super well. And he says, okay, here we go." And he like backs up a couple steps and then like runs at the wall and then like does a flip and like smacks into the wall, and the whole building shakes. And then he just bam, his hands just shoot down, and like he balances on his hands leaning against the wall. Am I doing it?
This is great. Yep.
Is this right?
Nope. This is it. This is good. Get that blood all the way to your head. It's an exhilarating experience. We just stay there for a while.
Okay. Timothy, what about you? What are you doing?
I actually went outside to just get some fresh air.
Yeah. Rain is outside, and she is standing underneath the sign, sort of looking out into the moonlight. There's 2 moons, Thokru and Tikaru. 2 moon. And she's looking up at them, and she sees you come. "Oh, Uh, hello.
Good evening. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. If you would prefer to be alone, that's fine.
Oh, no,
It's
it's
fine.
fine. Indoors sometimes is a lot. I've spent a lot of time under the ground lately. Um, we were in a tomb and then a mine, and it's just nice to see the sky.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have spent days out here, years out here, and it never gets old, does
Yes.
it?
No. Yes. Your own journey, you crashed and made your way here?
We did. We did. Um, all in all, it wasn't too bad. Some attacked a couple times by some long, skinny things, but otherwise pretty good. I found these berries while I was bathing. Would you like some?
Uh, sure. Yes. Um, absolutely. And she takes one and sort of daintily eats it. This is good.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the birds eat them, and if they're good enough for the birds, they're good enough for me.
Good. That's a good philosophy. Um, and yeah. So you led your party back here?
I did, yeah. I was leading. I mean, I by no means carried us, so to speak, but I knew the way.
But you found your place inside your group,
Mm-hmm.
so you
I
feel like you
wouldn't
have
call
a place.
myself a leader, but more of a pointer.
Yeah. How how how'd you do that?
Well, I just have a good feeling about some directions, you know?
No, I
I
meant like with your companions.
Oh. Oh, I see. Well, it takes all kinds, right? And we all have specialties, and we all have skills. And I think we're all meant to find what those skills are and use them to help each other. If you don't, it's kind of selfish, you know?
No, I agree with that. I don't feel like I have any skills. I don't really know why I'm here, you know?
Did you sign up for the order?
Yes, but out of looking for a purpose, not out of understanding one. I feel like all my companions sort of know why they're here, know what their role is, know how to do things. You know, Urza punches everything in sight. Hardener seems to lead things. He seems to know where the right place to go is. You know, Asana opens the doors for us. Grak, well, I don't know what Grak's role is. He's just super weird, honestly. But I feel like I don't really have anything to offer.
Well, two things. I don't know you that well, but clearly you are a special person who has a lot to offer. And two, have you considered that maybe you're the glue that holds everyone else together?
Uh, I mean, I think it's Asana. She's also a little sticky sometimes.
I'm sorry, did you say sticky or stinky?
Sticky.
Sticky. Oh, right. Okay.
Better.
Little.
Well, you know what? It's a lifelong journey. Oh, how old is Rain?
Yeah, Rain is 24, 25. Yeah, 24, 25. We would think of her as being
Okay.
roughly.
It's a lifelong journey. And I mean, gosh, I spend enough time alone with my thoughts to really think things through. And I don't know. By the time you're my age, maybe you'll figure it out. Sometimes people get there, sometimes they don't. That's okay.
I lost my memories, you know.
Timothy is suddenly realizing he is way out of his depth here. Like, oh, this casual conversation is going too deep. Wow, that is terrifying. Truly,
I don't really
I
know
can't-
anything about who I am, who I was.
When did that happen?
6 weeks ago, I woke up on a beach in Chalestra.
Wow.
Slexa has had that happen to her before.
I'm sure she has. Yeah, there was some people, they found me on the beach and took me in and helped me. You know, they turned out to be Urza's siblings' family, and Urza had written them a letter talking about joining the Order of Starlight, and I didn't really have anything else to do. I didn't really know what I was supposed to do, so I just sort of went.
That's very brave of you.
Is it?
I think so. Well,
Interesting.
yeah. It was nice talking with you. I feel like I should get back to my group. You hear what's going on in there? Did someone just run into a wall?
That's certainly what it sounded like.
Goodness. That's on who?
Yes. Well, it was nice meeting you, Timothy. This
Likewise.
is weird. Could I write you?
Please do. Yeah, let me know if any of those memories come back, or just if you want to say hi. Please do. I'd love to keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be nice. Okay. And with that, oops, don't do that, Matthew. Click the other button. And with that, you return inside. Anyone else have any particular party scenes that they want to have?
Nova really wants to arm wrestle someone.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean Urza will happily take you on. So Urza's like, yeah, of course. Do you want to do it left-handed or right-handed?
Let's do left-handed.
Okay, you sure? Most people want to take me lefty.
I don't know. Sure.
She sticks her hand out, left-handed. Okay, yeah. So, let's see. Urza is ambidextrous, which is why she likes doing left-handed. Yeah. So let's say contested athletics checks.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So you guys get together and grip, and you just immediately go at it with all your strength, and like her hand just goes like bam, partway down, but she like holds on, trying to fight back a little bit, like just gritting her teeth. Ooh, you're gonna make it hard for me, aren't ya? And then she tries to push back against you. Let's go for round two. Or partway through. Oh no, I'm rolling horribly. Oh, good, you do too. Yeah, so she's able to push you back just a little bit, getting it not quite to center. You're still like in the head, but it's like partway down. It's a little bit down, and she's like, "Come on, come on, come on!" Round three. Oh, holding it exactly in the center. The tension is going extreme here. I will give you advantage in exchange for a point of exhaustion.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
Devil's bargain.
Okay.
Need it.
Bam! And you take her down, and her wrist goes smacking into the table, beating her by more than 10. Wow! it's been a long time since I've lost to someone lefty. That was nice. Good little workout there. Yeah, I like it. And she like just playfully slaps you once on each cheek, just like bam, bam, just like her form of hello.
So Alexa jumps out of her seat cheering.
Nova
You have
laugh.
a lot. That's awesome. You've got a lot of strength in there. You're tiny like me. I like this. You're pretty cool.
Yeah. I think this is good. It's good to meet someone who wants to arm wrestle.
Seriously, right? You know, God, not to say anything against my party, but like half of them had not been in a fight before like yesterday. It's like embarrassing at this point, you know? Like, come on, we should be like, you know, I fought in a war. I'm a soldier. You know, I've been there. I've done the fighting thing. It's great. Do you like fighting?
Nova leans forward and just shows off all the scars all over her face from like fights she had no business getting into.
Yeah. I like it. I like it. And she like starts running her finger over your face, like just touching your scars. Um, it's a little bit invading your personal space here. But she's like so enthusiastically friendly about the whole thing that like it's kind of weird. Like it's not like it should be more off-putting than it is, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so she's just like super down. And so like she just immediately starts telling you about fights that she's had and she wants to hear about fights that you've had and just like it goes on. I think probably the two of you, I would guess, are the latest up, you know, partying, drinking until, you know, doing her swapping battle stories. She's super into like hearing about all the details. And like she does not care about like the grandeur of the fight at all. She cares about like what were the odds, right? Was it you versus one other person? Because whatever, that's fine. But was it you versus 17 other people? Now that's a story. It doesn't matter if it's like 17 baby rats or 17 dragons. It's the, you know, the odds are what matters. So
Nova mentions the time she went against a drug cartel single-handedly.
nice.
And not very successfully, but
The fight's what matters though, right? Even if you lose, that's great. Yeah, you should talk to Asana. She has a whole thing with a drug cartel in her backstory too. You know, meta humor.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. Excellent. There you guys go. Okay. Then you go upstairs. You guys get a long rest. And you are woken up the following morning. Some of you very hungover. You can decide how you respond to that.
I cast That's a restoration on myself before I went to bed.
Nice. Excellent. Saving those spell slots for the important things.
Hey, I got them back. It's okay.
Yeah. Excellent. Getting them back at dawn. Love it. Okay, and you guys wake up in the morning and make your way to the airship. Masozi comes out of the woods and sort of just joins your crowd of people.
I keep in the back with him for a second, and say, and I take the necklace off of myself and put it on him, and I say, "This will keep you guarded against any scrying magics, just in case."
It's
You think you need that?
It works.
It works. Yes.
He looks at you dubiously. Nova.
Nova would also like to talk with Nefany and Masozi and show them the disguise kit she got, and try to have them disguise themselves to make them look a little different than they would normally.
Yeah.
In the least boring way possible, not distracting at all.
Yeah, of course. Awesome. Yeah. Then that happens.
In disguise kits?
Thea, do you have disguise kit proficiency?
Because that would be better.
It'd be on the bottom left.
No.
Under tools. No.
Okay.
What about Celexa? Well, Celexa's the other one who might. No. Okay. Okay. Cool. Then, yeah, you guys make it onto the ship. They do a little bit of something, but Masozi's very confident that he'll be fine on the ship. It's in the Kava that he'll have problems.
Right.
So you guys launch into the air and begin a couple days' journey to the Kaaba. And partway through the second day of travel, partway through the first day of travel, you see that there is in the distance a thin, sort of glowing, almost see-through. It looks like purple bubble that is massive. It's like a dome that stretches clearly like 5 miles into the sky. This is dramatic and huge. And so you can see it in the distance, and as you're flying towards it, it's getting closer and closer and closer. Captain Monira says, that is the Kava. It's actually, I know that you can't see through it, but it is actually open right now.
Oh. How many days travel until we're through that barrier?
Either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay. I turn to the rest of the crew and say, we probably need to do something before we get through that barrier.
But the Silver Spires is another day's travel on the other side.
Okay. Still, though, better safe than sorry.
Do something. You mean? Okay. For the rest of the day, Celexa is going to be basically like staring out into the sky, watching for astrobugs.
Mm-hmm.
And
totally good call. I approve.
I corner Masozi then somewhere a little privater, maybe in my own quarters, and say, have you given any thought? How can we best get you through?
I worry that there are people who will recognize even the shape of my face. I am not unknown in my community.
So what you want from us is to get you there. Do you need to be with us? Or will you be able to fend for yourself?
You will be landing at the 3 spires, the Silver Spires. They are quite beautiful, but they are well protected and highly secure.
What if you left before that?
Do you have access to magics that would permit me to survive a land? They won't like you landing the airship before then. They'll have difficulty, but I guess I could jump out.
Potentially. That's something that we could discuss with the captain. Is landing somewhere else before we land at the spires. Perhaps emulating some sort of we could say that we could tell the Cavani that there was some sort of engine trouble. But I think perhaps a safer way and a quicker and easier way is to find someone who might be able to get you to fall safely.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
Yes. Well, let us ask around the ship and have Matthew check the spell list of everyone here and see if anyone knows Featherfall. But yes, let us ask around the ship and see what we can make happen. It certainly would be easier for me not to have to sneak through one of the tightest security nets in the world.
I think getting you off the ship before we get there is our best bet.
Yes. I approve.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys continue sailing, and the purple bubble goes from being this far off distant thing that's very obvious to more or less enveloping everything that you can see. It is very clear. It covers your entire field of vision. And you are sailing towards it. And the captain says, when it's blue, it's locked. You can't go through it. This is their version of being welcoming. It's very disconcerting to go through it, but worry not. It's safe. Ish. And she takes you. Yeah.
Can
Oh.
can I quickly? I mean, as we are getting closer to the edge, can Timothy look down at the like perimeter? I assume they're like forests or something, maybe. Like, are there anything weird with the trees? Like, do they look like they've been like disturbed by the bubble, or like, is there anything weird how they grow, or is there like a pile of skeletons? Who knows?
Yeah, roll a perception check for me.
Can I also look?
Sure.
Great.
Perception.
21 from me.
21
Awesome.
from nice. Double 21s. Yeah. So the bubble like does not seem to disturb things, but there is like a very slight, you just notice, clearing in the woods around here. The woods and the grasslands. It's like they're strip lined for about 5 feet. There's just no life immediately outside the bubble. Like things just won't grow close to it. There's trees that like you can see all the other trees behind them bend towards the bubble because of the wind or whatever, but the trees at the bubble don't get closer, right? And it's like it's definitely weird because like the leaves don't get closer, right? It's almost like they're bumping into something invisible that's 5 feet beyond the actual border of the bubble. No, you don't see any skeletons. No, you don't see anything super disturbing in that front. It's all very pristine. Yeah, anything else that you want to do before you cross into the bubble? Look at something or see something or imagine something?
Were we able to disguise Masozi at all, or what?
Yeah.
What's the plan that what is our plan?
Yeah. Masozi looks relatively disguised. He looks like a human right now. Yeah, he's you put makeup on his spots basically to flesh tone them out. And he has put makeup on his spots and makeup on his pale white parts to sort of turn him into sort of a flesh colored person. Right now, his build is still very human. Yeah.
Would you like to try to get Masozi off the ship then before we get there somehow?
Let me look up spells that people have too, because there literally might be someone in the other party who is also on the ship with Featherfall. But I'll do that before the next session. Like it just wouldn't surprise me if Hardner had Featherfall. Just because of the way that Hardner thinks, he's like it might be convenient to have Featherfall. His way or things like that. Yeah. So I'll check that. But I think that he needs to you're getting him inside the bubble. So either way, you're going to cross the bubble with him. And then there's a little bit more travel to city. And I think our episode is going to end as the nose of the airship hits the bubble. And you guys are going to start the next episode seeing the Kava for the first time. What is this mysterious, foreign, strange land like? And we will pick up from there. Okay, good. Nice little shopping episode there. A little bit of a respite after our journeys. Our survival adventures for a little while. Yeah, good stuff, guys. A lot of fun. Cool little RP. I survived my double party session, which is always a chore. I've got another one to do on Tuesday because I've got to do perspective on this whole circumstance that just happened that you guys just played out. So that'll be fun. Excellent. Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate your attendance. It looks like we capped out today at 7 people. I'll take it. Not bad. Thank you all for watching. I always appreciate you hanging out. Please, if you're enjoying our content, follow us or subscribe. Heck, I'll take a subscription. It never hurts. And then, of course, the most important thing today is Mother's Day. So please, especially in this time of social distancing, if you can, go out of your way, call your mother. If you don't like your mother, call a mother. But do the whole be nice to your mothers thing, because mothers are great. My mother personally is a chief nursing officer working at a old folks home and dealing with coronavirus firsthand. So, be good to mothers today. Be good to them in general, but today in particular. And of course, as always, feed your mom. Just feed her. It's a good thing to do. It's a nice thing to do. Feed your mom, and of course, call your cat. Bye, everyone.